Owned Iowa convenience store chain has agreed to sell its gas stations and stores. It's a brand you might know well. In a press release, it was announced that Maverick Adventures First Stop will acquire Kum Go from its parent company, Kraus Group. Maverick will gain Kum Go's more than 400 locations in 13 states. The terms of the deal haven't been disclosed. The deal is expected to close, though, in the next few months. KTIV reached out to Kum Go and Maverick to ask if the name of the Kum Go stores will change after the deal is done, or if any of the stores will close after the transfer. In their reply, they stated, quote, "We do not have any further comment beyond the news release today," end quote.